On behalf of the Marunda Interfaith Network, I'd like to welcome you to this seminar, the sixth seminar in our series on compassion. At the start of this seminar, I'd like to pay our respects to the First Nations people who have cared for this land for thousands of years, especially the Wurundjeri people, on whose land most of us who are joining this seminar live. The aim of these seminars is to learn about the various faiths around us, partly so that we can understand the people who live around us, but partly so we can also enrich our own faith. In past seminars, we've explored a variety of perspectives on compassion. Today, the speaker is the Venerable Geshe Sonam Thargye, who is spiritual director of the Drol Kar Buddhist Centre at Anglesea in Victoria, Australia. Damien Gauci, one of the members of the steering committee of the Marunda Interfaith Network, is going to introduce him.
I've only been studying with Geshe for a few months now, so I feel like I'm learning a lot, but I don't know too much about Geshe. I know he was, Geshe, correct me if I'm wrong, you were born in Kham, I think Eastern Tibet.
Yes.
Kham, Eastern Tibet. And I think you were born in 1962, and then after many years studying Buddhist philosophy and practicing at Sarah J Monastery in South India, he graduated with a Geshe degree, which is kind of like the PhD version of the Nalanda tradition of in the Nalanda tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. Tibetan Buddhism has its roots in India, and the tradition that Geshe-la practices is the same one as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So he graduated with in 1994 with a degree of Geshe Lamrupa. I'm not sure to say that properly in Tibetan. And he's been residing in Australia since 1998. And he has, the centre is a little bit far, not too far away. It's in Anglesea, I think next to Torquay. And he'll be talking today about, now just quickly, the Buddha taught various teachings. There's many traditions of Buddhism, but today we'll be listening to the Geluk tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. Now the Buddha turned the Dharma wheel a number of times. On his second turning, he taught about the perfection of wisdom texts. In his first turning, he talked about the Four Noble Truths and the foundational teachings of Buddhism. And today, Geshe will be elucidating the teachings of the Four Noble Truths, but from the perspective of universal compassion. So, to no further ado, I will pass it over to Geshe-la.
I think most of you did a great job. And first, I want to say, my name is Geshe Sonam, and thank you invited to this opportunity, this today talks. And first I want to say I've been in Australia 23 years, but still my English is a completely broken English, and off or in or a or these things doesn't have any. Therefore, if something problem, you can't stop, no problem at all. You don't think so, oh, rude, I cannot stop. Not that point, no good, you can't stop straight away. Main purpose, we understand each other, make clear. That is the main purpose. And but just let you know, my English is not perfect English, okay? And Buddha came to India to 2,500 years ago. And then anyway, he taught this called basic Four Noble Truths. That is Buddhism have many different group, and what call Hinayana, Mahayana. These Theravada traditions, Thailand, Burma, Sri Lanka, Laos, Cambodia, this kind of one Buddhist tradition. And then Tibetan, Chinese, Japanese, Korea, and Mongolia, Tibetan Buddhist one tradition called Mahayana. And that's kind of tradition. But this all there's what called branches. This come from root is the Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truth is the Buddhist foundation. Okay, and through that Buddha teachings, three wills: first will, second will, third will. Will means to our all sentient beings, to everyday activities, or bird or animal, anything to movement, something, daily life, sleep or eating, everything is they're looking for satisfaction and happiness. That's their main goal inside. And these things that goal is a will. If this will turning, you get there. If I from Anglesea come to will to in the city, and that is similar example, but really will means if you doing something, this thing, cause of this doing, you achieve happiness. That means will. Anyway, three wills, and call these three wills called Dharma. Okay, Dharma in the Sanskrit called Dharma. Dharma means how to change your habituated habit, bad habit, speech, bad action, bad speech, bad thinking, and we call it three draws. And we maybe sometimes bad thinking, then bad action, then bad speech, and these activities, how to change that bad habit, change to positive way. This kind of method, idea is called Dharma. For example, if you illness, and that illness remove, called medicine. And the illness, different illness, but that to remove is called medicine. The similar Dharma is that how to change to bad habit, to because this bad speech, bad action, bad thoughts result. If this kind keep doing habit, what happened? That person's desire happiness, but these bad addicted things, and that is then motivation is looking for happiness, but really is not coming because this habit, bad actions result called karma, and result back to non-us to for you. Therefore, this kind to how to change called Dharma. Okay, and this called then Four Noble Truths is the basic teaching. That's the root of teaching, and that's Buddha's own teaching is 110 books, big books. They're teaching Buddha teaching. This is all teaching, and this all teaching is the Buddha's Dharma called three parts. One is Buddhist science, one is Buddhist philosophy, one is Buddhist ritual or practicing, how to practicing. Okay, and therefore Buddhist science, Buddhist philosophy. Without Buddhism, you can't to learn, you can't share. If you are Christianity or Hinduism, or if you are not interested in religion, you are not religious atheist, you still can't this idea, And for example, if some people atheists, still they need love, family love, friend is a benefit. If love family, they enjoy inside. They don't like religious, but they need love. That's kind of this Buddhist science, Buddhist philosophies, definitely you can share each other. But the Buddhist ritual or Buddhist practicing, then only Buddhist business, no other people's business. Okay, that is the three. His Holiness Dalai Lama divided every year, and Western science and Buddhist science, the dialogue, and divided three. This what called all Buddha teachings. Okay, for example, to our societies, so much people depressed and violent, and so many what called addiction things. Because then they come from special, very popular, depression. And because this depression come from emotions. And Buddhists call emotions, for example, to, they have Buddhist emotions, 118 different kind of emotions. For example, anger, jealousy, hatred, and attachment, and ignore it. Or these different, each emotions how to affect it, and that kind of things. The total is 118 different types emotions, and this all are called Buddhist science, and this is all idea to. This is all idea to as sort of three topics he's teaching. First topic is teaching is to how to stop bad action, bad speech, because this bad action, bad speech is much easier control than bad thoughts. Bad thoughts is difficult, and thinking changing is more harder, and speech and actions a little bit easier change than to thinking changing. Therefore, that's also this is a bad speech, bad action. This is all religious, I think, same, and no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no, this kind of thing, not too selfish, and forgiveness. All this is all religious is the same message, and also not only religious, also each country have a law, and this Australia and America or Europe or in Asia country, they all have a government law. Can't kill, cannot kill, no stealing, no sexual misconduct. That kind of law, but this law is to try to force you. You must follow that, otherwise you punish you. That's kind of. But our religious believe this way, to our sincere, voluntarily to not doing these things, and therefore quite powerful, quite full enjoy, and that's kind of idea. And then second is what called thoughts, and these kind of things is then to Buddhism is not much to thinking prayer or not much thinking to faith, more to you use more wisdom, intellectual or using intelligence, and how to, for example, anger or negative emotions, how to stop. That's a stop is the prayer Buddha. Buddha said doesn't work. How to oppose, how to opposite and to stop. And that is a need there. Therefore, they call Buddhists call three wisdoms. One first called hearing wisdom, then thinking wisdom, and then meditation wisdom. Hearing is you knowing, first know what, how to anga's opposite, how to attachment opposite. That's kind of is only what call you knowing, but not enough deep level. For example, and if you painful something, your headache or stomach or something, you can eat Panadol, and it's just short time stop painful, but not go to what exactly problem inside illnesses you not follow. Only try to stop temporary painful. That's use Panadol. And similar that kind of if your emotions they come in, you're feeling no good, something you are not happy, that kind of things, and short times meditation or a little bit avoid that painful, but not go to deep level. Deep level is the need to understand oppose in this negative emotions oppose. For example, in these rooms is to before dark, very dark this room, and how to I say pray Buddha every day. This dark's gone, impossible. What to do? Oppose is lights, turn on lights, dark disappears straight away because the dark and lights is completely antagonistic. And similarly, in this side, in this room is cold, and I pray, it doesn't go away. In the opposite nature is turn on heater or fire to do that, and then completely control that, whichever this contradict these things. This kind of sense mental and our emotions, how to oppose each other, And if, for example, anger is opposite love, how to love this person, and then if you love, cannot be anger. They completely contradict. If you love, no angry. If angry, cannot love. That's kind of things the Buddhist idea. These things, okay, and that's called sort of Buddhist, this kind of thing, Buddhist science level, and then Buddhist philosophy is this little bit different than other religions, and also a little bit different than Hindu religion, because Buddhist philosophy is thinking is to Nalanda traditions. Buddhist thinking is to this all our emotions come from to attachment to, for example, attachment of 5 objects of 5 senses, and to form, and sound, and smell, taste, and tangible object. These attachments come from attachment your body, physical attachment, because you're attached to your physical need, that attachment. Physical attachments come from attachment of self, attachment of soul. Attached, I like this, always coming I. Then this attachment I is where it comes from. This attachment is then first we think, what is a soul? What is Christian religion called soul? Hindu call Atma, and Buddhist call self. And then to big question now is what is Atma? What is a soul? And then completely different ideas come in. And Christian is soul means permanent soul, and Hindu thinks also permanent, but some Hindu philosophy thinks is a part of in our brain to soul. But the Buddhist is completely different. They therefore call selflessness, no self independent. And that kind of idea is a Buddhist philosophy idea, okay? And that's kind of to how to what called negative emotions, how to avoid, or how to antidotes. And therefore, if this first you understanding hearing wisdom, then the second is the wisdom of thought, then the third one is the wisdom of meditation, means quite deep and quite sharp. That's to understand to what is reality, what is reality, and not just see here. That's enough. That's not enough. How to go further, deep level of what is reality, and that's a kind of Buddhist one philosophy, and then to this kind of then practicing to defend Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and pray, and that practice is only to Buddhist belief, Buddhist part of that's doing. Therefore, three different levels. But now I'm talking for Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths is they have a Buddhists believe everything is cause and effect. Cause and effect means, for example, if cooking, or you need looking for a job, or you go to many years study, this all, and maybe these people are not saying I believe cause and effect, but really is you believe cause and effect because you're doing these things. Because if you not study, you know knowledge. You know knowledge, you cannot get job. If you cooking, go to a shopping center, buy a veggie, and then prepare cooking, this all is the cause of your meal. You do. For example, farmers doing, and first digging, and then put a seed plant, and then water, compost, then raining, then coming crop. These all dependent cause, and dependently rise the causes. Therefore, this Buddhist is saying Buddha teaching clear and cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect. Therefore, our human life or animal life or whatever our life is, and since born to now, is nobody want aging. We always want around 20 years old. Don't want getting older. Don't want wrinkle. Don't want these things, but no choice. That's called part of suffering. And also nobody want to die, but this is no choice. This is also part of suffering. This is come from, therefore Buddha taught is this the truth of suffering. Okay, truth of suffering. They call suffering is a three-part suffering. One is suffering of suffering. Second is suffering of change. And the third one is pervasive suffering. And the first one is suffering is too hot, too cold, too sick, and too starving, and too illness. And this kind of called suffering of suffering. All we human beings, of course, recognize this suffering. Or animals also recognize, because animals also too hot place, go to under the tree, or they're hungry, go to eat, or winter times they go to cold place, warm place. They recognize, they can't talk, but that's kind of they recognize. And then second one called suffering of change. And suffering of change is then we now our society thinks for example you buy a car, BMW or Mercedes car. We think everyone thinks this happiness, but really Buddhist thinks that this is still suffering of change. And if really true the happiness, since you bought it, then you continuously happy because it is the truth of happiness. But since you're born, you need insurance, you need a scotch, or you need to put petrol, you need a little bit getting old, a little bit color changing. Since you're born today, after that, minutes by minutes, is you're worried more in your head. This worried come from this new Mercedes car. But this is called suffering of change. For example, if you go to beautiful weather, go to beach, and beautiful sun, beautiful beach, you think, wonderful here. Okay, so nice here. If Buddhists call the truth of suffering of change, but we think it is a really happiness. But is it happy? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, sitting there, maybe 10 minutes, you feel something uncomfortable. Something you mustn't jump in water or doing something else. You cannot continuously satisfaction not there. You definitely will changing. You go to jump water, really nice, I feel good. But you will stay longer, same things. These kind of things, whatever your marriage, job, whatever we our life do, call suffering of change. And the beginning, little bit satisfaction, but slowly they changed, For example, if I love to walking, and maybe half hour walking, someone says, yeah, let's come in my car and jump. I feel good. But keep it in go to car, and half hour, I saw bum, and something I was doing something else. These all the changes come from this start at the beginning. This is after something changing. That's the way when it started. Since the beginning, you rather there started, but you cannot see that, and that's called suffering of change. And then Buddhists call pervasive suffering. Pervasive suffering is quite a deep level. And you, me, rich, poor, educated, uneducated, doesn't matter. All human beings, same that kind of level of suffering, And that's the way Buddhist compassion is to not just only someone studying or someone sick or someone less opportunity than you are, compassion, not that. Compassion means all being, In a short time, at the moment, he or her, very healthy, everything's fine. But one day, not exactly the same, situation changing. One day, she got cancer. One day, he got cancer. One day, he lost his big name. One day, his wealth is gone. One day he got cancer, and that's kind of came in. Therefore, this pervasive suffering is all change. Therefore, Buddhist compassion is not only to someone starving or someone uneducated or only homeless people or drug, addicted drug people or not that person or war zone people or not that kind of things. All being, same problem this, therefore we need to help each other, therefore need to take care of these people. That's kind of things called compassion, okay? That's called pervasive suffering. These three three different levels of sufferings, and they come from through causes or without causes. Two questions. If without causes, then more complicated, very difficult, more difficult answer. And then if it is without causes, then cannot explain it. Because you're saying you study, you're doing something, farmers doing, you plant seed in the ground, garden. This all this, these things. If I put this, something coming result. That's what you're doing. And, therefore, I come from causes. Then these causes, internal causes, external causes. Buddha said internal causes. What internal cause called karma? Karma comes from negative emotions. Negative emotions, for example, anger, attachment, and ignorance, and hatred, jealousy, and these are all negative emotions. Okay? Especially is this Buddhists call three poisonous. Three poisonous means the most destroy our happiness, our individuals destroy happiness. One is attachment. Second is hatred, anger. And third is ignorant. And this is three is which ones come from? Anger comes from attachment. Attachment comes from ignorance. Because attachment is I want you object or person you try to close, that kind of attachment. Then what you want cannot get, then anger protect you. Anger look like defense you. Therefore, anger can protect. Okay? And these two negative emotions come from ignorant. Ignorant means to what is the reality, nature of reality, or also what is self. Because this is all come from I. You know, try to defend I. What is I? Where is I? That is the Buddhists call as selflessness or emptiness, and a little bit different than a Hindu philosophy, different than a Christian religious, but a little bit close to modern science, counter physics, right? Physics. Because if a soul is permanent, I is permanent, soul is permanent. Why call you when you your body is a female body? You call I am a woman. If your body is a man, I am a man. If your body getting old, you say I am old. If a soul is permanent, you cannot say I am old because your soul is permanent. Your body is getting old. Why you call I am old? And then you also sometimes we thinking if you lot of knowledge, your mind is smart. You say I am smart. I am thinking. I am sad. Means you feel sad. You say I am sad. But this feeling not you. And that therefore this is the Buddhist the most complicated subject to Nalanda Institute in this oldest university in India, and that is 100% to logic, reason, and faith is no number one. Logic, not against logic, is number one institute. Therefore, Buddhist man is follow this one is why this negative emotion attachment or this come from. Because our daily life is clear, attachment is attachment. For example, you bought to each one your iPhone 13 or 10 iPhone. We bought the same value. You bought in the iPhone value. Your iPhone broken, hurt. Other people's iPhone broken, no hurt, no problem for you. Why? Because you're attached, your iPhone. Okay? For example, your possessions, your nice table or your nice car or your nice house, something happened, you're hurt. You're in a house rubbish, your rubbish, you need to give away, broken or someone took, you no problem because you're not touched. This is therefore this all emotions come from our attachment. This is how to attachment is how to stop. Huh? Okay, sorry. And that's one is to only here saying is 2 minutes left, right? 2 minutes. And that's a way to call Buddhists call how to this cause of suffering is how to origin of suffering, how to stop is then 8 part, you know, and a part to wisdom part, how to stop. And for example, if you understanding, if you have ignorant of A, B, C, D, ignorant, then if I learn A, B, what is A, what is B, I understand the wisdom of A, B, C, D, then my ignorance of A, B, C, D is gone because I have got wisdom. And similar, that kind of what call oppose each other emotions, try to remove. For example, your body illness is all doctors, scientists try to oppose bug, virus or these medicines to chemicals to oppose, therefore to remove illness. Otherwise, is not to pray God or pray Buddha, remove, not that way. To scientifically, logically, and to not against. Therefore, that's way to solve the problem. The same, your emotions exactly similar that. Okay, that's one. And then Denny asking to compassion. Compassion is to all religions, same message. But compassion is if you someone really you do compassion and beautiful to a cause of happiness, okay? But you must know these lots of people. You think you go back to your own research. Love, attachment, what's between different? All our religions, the attachment is negative emotion, and love is positive. Sometimes attachment and love is look like one emotion. Okay, they both attachment or love, both try to close to I love to him or I love to you. Try to close. I love to car. Close that object. Attachment same. But my understanding is studies is love is positive. Love is for giving, to service, to giving. But attachment is try to, number one is you want and to take. You close the reason is you close that object, you want that way. But the love is for giving, for service. Okay? Sometimes for example, for my study and a long time practicing, I am not a Western or East, West, no border, no fence. Everyone, my brothers, sisters, go to, everyone are smiling. But sometimes for example, young girls think, why you smile at me? What do you want from me? That's kind of attitude, but that's my love is nothing benefit for them, but my love is 100% benefit for me. Benefit for me. If I love, I'm satisfaction. Okay? And no need necessarily decide to love you or no need. For example, I always teaching example, if I love to flower not love me, but I love flower, I feel it's good. I feel satisfaction because I love her. That's my power. And flower not love me. And the same things, if I love to anyone, to you and my brother, sister, and try to how much can I help and how much concerned, this is make me satisfaction. Okay? For example, if one child, if the child exam a good mark, and the children is very happy, But if someone, these children's mother or father also love, same satisfaction, because they love their children. That's kind of idea is if you really love yourself, love other, love yourself. If too much thinking me, then it's difficult. You always close your negative emotions, becoming not much space. You are difficult to movement. That's a way to if compassion is unbelievable important, and that's the way I say is to this kind of studies is in our daily life, our individual life, family level, society level, country level, and then in world level. All is, for example, in Ukraine now at the moment, Ukraine and the Russia war, one or two persons' ego and attachment and clear emotions, black and white. This is my territory. This is I love. This is I hate. It's a started war that way. And the same things, the family level, our friendship level, and our society level. That's kind of too much inside emotions. Then never the peace. If we inside in our emotions, that's kind of your intelligence to use that kind of things, completely different world, different life, honestly. And therefore, if you do that through kindness and meditation, no need to necessarily religious name and particular religious Buddhism or Hinduism, no need. Just if you do that, definitely all happiness programs in your head, each one, your believer or non-believer, we all have that things. And therefore, I think we try to how much we are duty or we are responsibility, promote loving kindness and responsibility and nature and humanity, and that's kind of environmental and the next generation and the education, not just modern education, kindness education, moral ethics education. That's kind of grow up children in different societies, different attitude, different, not only make money, billions of dollars, and I will win, you are losing, not that kind of education. We need that kind of concern. We all are responsibility, I think. And I think my time is run out. Therefore, time to ask a question. Thank you. No one, your guys politely, no one stopped my English. Therefore, now welcome to question.